Hey everybody, I thought I'd make a quick YouTube video about coolant. I've been getting pretty crazy about trying to get my coolant to last absolutely as long as possible. And to that end, it's getting pretty crazy. A couple of things I've been making. This is a strainer for the bottom of the coolant tank. So you can use this to scrape along the bottom, pick all the junk out. Made a strainer. So this is the chute on the back of the HAAS. I'll show you in another clip. You attach a broom handle to this flat. Here's the broom handle. And this screws on. And this lets you reach up inside the HAAS and pull out the last of the chips down the chute. Made this in two parts bolted together. The problem is this dimension is too large, so this won't fit all the way up into the chute. So I had to redesign a little bit and actually made it even simpler. So this is version 2, which is all one piece now, and it's a little slicker also in that it's at a bit of an angle. So the down rake angle is pitched, I forget what the angle is, but the big thing is this dimension lets you reach all the way up inside and pull all the last bit of the chips out. So, but probably the coolest thing is this pump or coolant stir. So I made this pump. I tried using an aquarium pump and it was just garbage. The aquarium pump would get jammed up. So this is all 3D printed with some drill rods. In fact, I just pulled this out of the tank. It's been in there probably 2 weeks, and it's got a bit of tramp oil stuck to it. It's got some magnets here on the ends that try and hold it to the bottom of the tank. And the magnets, of course, didn't think about this at first, but they build up with metal shavings. But the idea was to just have this stirring the coolant in the bottom of the tank continuously, so it doesn't let any of the tank get stagnant. And so I've got a bubbler in the back that's oxygenating the coolant, and this stir pump just moves the coolant around then so that the tramp oil basically goes to the outside of the tank and makes it easy to scrape off. I do that every couple of months. So yeah, that's the big innovation in the coolant tank, trying to get it to last as long as possible. So I'll take a couple of clips, video clips of the back, and show you how that's working out. Okay, so this is what the coolant tank looks like with the I don't know what you call it, the coolant tank pump stir. So this guy is running on power supply, 9 volts, and it's easy to lift this guy off. It's got a little rubber coupling that I printed. And if you set this on top of the pump, it drops down on top, and you can see that it just keeps the coolant stirred all the time. These chunks will, over the course of the night, collect on the side wall, and then you can just scrape them off with a credit card. That's the easiest way I found to deal with the tramp oil. So also this pump is running on a low voltage connection, so it's got a little plug here. This is off of a 9-volt power supply on the other end, and the power supply is UL rated, so if the motor fell in the coolant, the power supply would get shorted out, of course, but it's UL rated and can handle a continuous dead short without any problem. So all safe in that regard, no problem. The pump has to sit right here because the cover that's normally over the top of the tank has got an access hole right here, and the top of the motor sticks through that. That's why I made it so it's convenient just to lift this motor off and put the cover on, and then you can put the motor back on top of the pump. So if I lift this thing out, you can see what she's doing. Just keeping the coolant stirred all the time. That's the goal. It just sits right down there and keeps us swirling around. So this is the view from the other end of the tank. Of course, I've got the chute over here where the coolant normally comes spilling out, and this is my first level of defense. It's just a screen that a friend of mine built me, and it just filters off all the chips. So take that off. Then this is just a media filter. This is stuff you buy or can buy from Amazon. That's where I get it. And it's designed for a pool, I guess. I don't have a pool, don't know anything about it other than it's really designed for that purpose. But you can see that it collects all the chips and doesn't let any through. And yeah, so whatever gets through the screen gets trapped by this. This has been on here probably a week now. And you get this stuff by the roll. Let's see if I got some over here. Yeah, it comes like this in a roll. You just cut it to length. I think you get like 10 feet for $10 or something, so it's pretty inexpensive. And keeps all the chips out of the coolant tank. And then of course I got my bubblers down here. I got two aquarium bubblers. I used to run two all the time, but then it was starting to foam up the coolant a little bit. So now I'm just running on a single one. You know, had two of them because more's better, I thought. But turns out maybe that's not the case. So there we go.